Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear?
No problem.
Good morning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I can.
Yes. Welcome to the AOU 2021 Parallel Session 1.5. This session will be conducted by the Professor Nalin Abesekara. I will hand over to this to conduct this session. Professor Nalin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saminder. So very good morning for all. Welcome to the 34th annual conference of AAOU. So the theme of the session is best practices in ODL for education for sustainable development. The 1st of June, today itself, we considered as a great day. So this can be considered as one of the great forum to present best practices in ODL and offers justification for ODL practitioners to align their practice with locally and internationally recognized benchmarks and example of best practice. So whatever the best practices, so we can discuss, we can disseminate the socialization of knowledge we consider as one of the important quality as academics, as scholars. So I would like to introduce the presenters in this special occasion. So we have a combination of Sri Lankan, Indonesian and Japanese, three presenters in this forum. The Mayanti Kulatunga Jayakodi, then we have the Siti Ayash, May Dudishi Setiani, Zinor Hidas for the second presentation. Then for the third presentation will be done by Tsuno Yamada, Kyoshi Fushimi, Tashoshi Satush, Tohoru Ushi, and Mitsuma Okada. So there are certain ground rules. 10 minutes we are going to allocate for pre-recorded presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A. All the presenters, you have to make sure in the pre-recorded presentation, you have to mute the microphone and turn off the video. And also, once we started the Q&A session, the presenter can turn on his or her video. And the participants, a small instruction in the Q&A session, you can use the chat option or raise hand option to indicate the participation. So we will start our session. So let me warmly welcome Mayanti Kulatunga Jayakodi. So she's going to discuss about a study on the causes of common inaccuracy found in the course material of OUSL. So over to you, Ms. Mayanti.
I am Mayanti Kulatunga Jayakodi, attached to the Open University of Sri Lanka. My paper is based on a study conducted on the common inaccuracies displayed in the course material written by OUSL academics and their causes. The Open University of Sri Lanka, being a national tertiary education institution approved by the University Grants Commission, shares certain similarities with the conventional universities in the island in terms of legal status, organizational structure, and staff recruitment. At the same time, having been catering to a massive population of adult learners, it differs from the more conventional teaching system practiced in the other national universities due to its teaching methodology. And this teaching methodology includes teaching resources such as audiovisual, online material, and of course, course material, which plays the main role. Course material is basically the resource that primarily bridges the gap between the teacher and the learner in the open distance learning or the ODL system. The OUSL prioritizes imparting knowledge via specially designed course material in place of the face-to-face instructions provided by the conventional university teacher. Accordingly, these course material must perform the role of an on-site teacher, which includes guiding, encouraging, captivating, illustrating, elucidating, provoking, recalling, querying, discussing alternative answers, evaluating the learner's progress, and providing fitting corrective or enhancement aid. Furthermore, writing course material is considered the foremost service that is expected of an academic employed in the ODL system. In order to maintain a high standard in the course material, the OUSL regularly conducts capacity building programs on writing course material. They meet the demands of all departments and provide a comprehensive knowledge on how they could effectively help the learners. These programs include lengthy discussions on various areas related to course writing. They are conducted over a period of time, paying special attention to the departmental needs and attending to academic queries. Once the training is over, each participant must engage in writing an entire session, which will be critically evaluated by the trainer. In addition, a hands-on guide inclusive of 2 components is available for the peruse of all academics. One is Bridging the Gap, which focuses on the effective writing in distance education on accepted principles. The other, The House Style, a comprehensive manual on the stipulated template. However, in spite of these efforts, there are many shortcomings in the actual sessions prepared for learner use when they are presented for the final editing. And containing such flaws in the primary learning resource is a clear drawback in the preferred teaching learning process. As a result, this study investigated the common inaccuracies displayed in the course material written by OUSL academics, what may have caused them, and also what steps could be taken in rectifying and minimizing them. As for the methodology, a textual analysis was conducted on randomly selected 100 sessions of OUSL course material with special attention paid to the structure of the session, presentation, and the use of language. Also, 2 course writers from each relevant department were interviewed to discover the causes behind such inaccuracies. Among them, there were academics who had produced well-written sessions, and they extended their views on what helped them in writing better sessions. And this study completely relied on a qualitative method of data analysis. As for the structure of the session, when writing course material, the OUSL follows specially designed templates. However, there were several sessions that had not followed the template. So, they had deviated from the stipulated structure. There were discrepancies related to the fonts, font sizes, spacing, and alignment. There were omissions of compulsory headings and subheadings as well. As a result, there was a lack of uniformity which needs to be maintained among all course material. Also, the learner might find it difficult to figure out how to use the material with ease. This makes the teaching learning process inconvenient. Such course material reflects badly on the standards of the relevant study program as well as the university in general. As for the presentation, some included long paragraphs, making them tedious and monotonous. Such writing makes the reader lose the interest and be demotivated to follow the study program. Instead of writing such long paragraphs, what they could have done was use lists, graphs, tables, and also pictures that would summarize and synthesize lengthy explanations. These would not only reduce the volume of the material, but also minimize the boredom. Furthermore, certain sessions were not replacing the on-site teacher. According to Derek Roundtree, these were some of the regularities in a conventional teaching learning situation. When writing course material in the ODL platform, some of these are done by using activities, summaries, review questions, and also by mentioning the learning outcomes. However, these were some of the crucial segments that were noteworthy omissions in some of the sessions that were analyzed. Language plays a massive role in bridging the gap between the teacher and learner in the ODL system. It must be reader-friendly, conversational, plain speaking, and welcoming. However, some academics have done quite the reverse by using formal language and neglecting that their writing is a replacement for the on-site teacher. A few sessions exhibited grammatical errors related to sentence structure, punctuation, and capitalization. However, these could be rectified at the editor's table, unlike the rest of the other flaws, which need the attention of the subject experts. The interviews conducted with the course writers revealed that several academics had not attended capacity building programs organized by the university, while some had never cited a copy of Bridging the Gap nor the house style. There were some who had used the correct template, but having not attended the training programs, they had missed writing practice sessions and getting them critically evaluated by the trainer. Another cause has been some prioritizing the content of the material over other related aspects of course writing. There were a few who seemed to be not so conversant with how the ODL system exactly operates. The demarcation between the teaching learning process of the ODL and conventional systems seemed blurred to them. The academics who produced well-written sessions provided many insights on rectifying and minimizing these inaccuracies. For instance, they had been active participants in the capacity building programs provided by the university. They had also constantly referred to the Bridging the Gap and the house style when writing course material. Also, they had utilized the knowledge gained from the program of Certificate in Teaching in Higher Education, again provided by the university, and they had constantly recalled and practiced the knowledge and training gained by the above in order to render an utmost service to the university as an academic attached to the ODL system, including writing comprehensive course material, which are of a high standard. In conclusion, the Open University uses course material to bridge the gap between the teacher and the learner. And to do so, they conduct capacity building programs and they also have manuals. However, there seems to be a considerable number of inaccuracies displayed in some of the course material. The study evidenced inaccuracies such as deviating from the stipulated structure, dull presentation, monotonous writing, and grammatical errors. And the causes behind them were being ignorant of the ODL system, not attending capacity building programs, and prioritizing content over other aspects of writing course material. The study also evidenced that the success of the academics who produced well-written material lied in following the training programs on capacity building, referring to the manuals related to writing course material, and making a conscious effort in being aware of the role of an academic related to the ODL system. As for the limitations, this study was conducted by focusing only on the course material written by OUSL academics. This same study could be expanded by looking at material written by other educational institutions that follow the ODL system. However, I hope that this study would help in minimizing and rectifying the aforementioned inaccuracies. And I also hope that the relevant authorities would make additional interventions in facilitating the process of course writing and also strengthen the ODL system. These are my references. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mayanti. It's indeed a great presentation. So as you know, especially we are talking about the ODL. Mode is designed to provide students with the opportunity to acquire knowledge, skills and technique relevant to either their present work situation or future career prospects. So in that scenario, the role played by the course material we consider that's very important. And also, so now in this particular presentation, Mayanti actually add a new knowledge for the existing domain of knowledge in the world. So now we will start our Q&A sessions. If there is any questions we have in the forum, you can raise. You have two options. One option, what you can do, you can use a chat option or you can raise hand option. So two options there. I think Mayanti, so you are prepared for the Q&A session?
Yes, I'm ready, sir.
Great, good. So I have seen, Mayanti, you are very committed, like going here and there for the conference work and all.
Thank you, sir.
So I have one particular question now. So you actually discuss another really important thing. So do you have any intention for expand this particular study in your
I want to,
future
sir.
research?
Yes, I want to, because so this study was actually based on my own experience, because I'm more involved in editing the course material in the Open University. So during my short tenure, these are the things that were very visible in whatever that came to me. I'm not criticizing all the course material. As I mentioned, the majority were quite very well written, but I was looking at the shortcomings so that we could correct them and bring the ODL course material to a higher standard. So what I thought was, in the future, I want to expand this paper into a full paper where I could discuss more and bring in the tactics that the other Asian open universities are using, so that we could inculcate their tactics as well and make it more enriched.
Yeah, like we are talking about this inaccuracy, and also like I just say, like sometimes we don't use the methods like storytelling. We just explain certain things, but there should be a different imaginative conversion in study materials. That might be one of the very important thing. Any questions from the audience? I think I have received one comment by Pradeepa Disanayaka. Very informative. Thanks for the awareness. Thank you very much, Pradeepa, for the comment. So if you ask questions only, we can have a kind of a very good, whatever the conversation. Okay, Mayanti, seems to be like no questions at the moment. All the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, sir.
Right. Thank you, Mayanti. So now I would like to invite our second presentation been done by Siti Ayash, Maid Dudishi Sitani, and Sanua Hida. So they discuss about the sectors to create a case for education as sustainable development in Universitas Terbuka. Over to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May I introduce my team? My name Jainur Hidayah. My team is Siti Aisyah, and Miss Made Yudi Setiani. We are from Universitas Terbuka. We would present our presentation with title of Collaboration between Universitas Terbuka and Private Sector for Education Sustainable Development in Universitas Terbuka. This presentation, we divided in 6 sessions. The first section is background, and the second session is purpose of study, and the third is literature review, the fourth is method, the fifth is result, and the last is conclusion. I will present regarding about session 1 and session 2. The background is today is we stated in problem statement. There is 3 problem statement in this study. The first is some students still needed third party to assist them with their study because the third parties provided administrative and services and information about Universitas Terbuka. The second problem is not all students were familiar with distance education. And the third statement problem is some Universitas Terbuka students required coordinate services to facilitate study group activities that we say is POCJAR. To make clear regarding this our research problem, you can see this data that we're taking from 4 UPBJJ, from 40 UPBJJ in Universitas Terbuka. You see the first example, UPBJJ is Jember. There is 26 Pokjar in Jember. Number of students in UPBJJ Jember is 9,640. The percentage of the student who needs assistance is 63.18%. The second UPBJJ you see in Malang, there is 32 Pokjar in Malang. The number of students in UPBJJ Malang is 12,243 students. The percentage of the students who join Pokjar is 75.1%. The third example, you can see UPBJJ Palembang. The number of Pokjar in UPBJJ Palembang is 69. The percentage of students who join UPBJJ is 76.25%. The last is Kupang with the highest percentage student who join in Pokjar. Number of Pokjar is 49. The percentage student who join a Pokjar is 94.64% student join in Pokjar. Since students join Pokjar to administrative assistant and education assistant, we find there is performance of Pokjar still did not meet of UT expectation. The example, there were still many violations found in face-to-face tutorial. Example, the tutorial schedule were not in accordance with the plan, and it was not even carried out in accordance with the rules. The competencies of the tutor was not in accordance with the requirement, and thus is the teaching material did not reach the students. And then Pokjar taking many extra lives to the student that were outside UT Universitas Terbuka control, and in make a disadvantage for students. The purpose of the study, we divided into purpose. The first purpose is to describe the implementation of Universitas Terbuka and Pokjar collaboration as an effort to improve education sustainable development. And the second purpose, to analyze the implementation of Universitas Terbuka and Pokjar partnership in improving the quality of learning through open distance education.
Literature review. The implementation of management policies for the management of the new scheme study group at the Open University showed that UT should increase supervision of Pokjar's performances. One study stated that student satisfaction with Pokjar's performances was still lacking. Kristanti 2018. The organizational design of the Pokjars at UT's regional offices was a contemporary organizational design. According to Robbins, 2002, contemporary organizational design was well suited for dynamic and complex developing environments. One of the contemporary organizational designs was in the form of the team structure. Team structure was a form of the whole organization consisting of work teams that performed organizational tasks. In the term of communication, the UT POCJAR's partnerships require synergy. According to Hamdan Turner, 1990, synergy is complementary and complements differences to achieve results greater than the number of parts per section. For the methods, we used qualitative research. Data collecting used interviews with some informants, such as leaders of UT regional offices or UPBJJ UT in Jember, Malang, Palembang, and Kupang, represented of region in West, Central, and East of Indonesia. Data analysis used implementation of collaboration theory. For analysis table and for the analysis of data, we analyzed aspect of planning, implementation of duties and functions, benefits, evaluations, regulation, leaderships, and structure. The score of partnership between UT POCJARs were 7.8 or good enough. The achievement of the UT POCJARs collaboration was quite good, but it still needed improvement in quality control that supports the learning process.
Now let's continue to the part of the result of the study. The study found the model of collaboration UT and POCJAR. There is 3 helix. First, society helix is in local government where is UPBJJ UT located, and helix 2 is UPBJJ UT is represent regional UT in local government, and helix 3 is POCJAR. They collaborate in processes learning from socialization, student recruitment, register, learning process, examination until graduation of the student. The appointment of the POCJAR and UT management was carried out with the principle, first benefit principle, namely to facilitate the learning group activities and communication between POCJAR and UPBJJ UT. Second, service accessibility, namely to bring UT service closer to member of POCJAR. Like an organization, POCJAR and POCJAR UT needed to manage with organizational principles such as planning, implementation, and evaluation. And the last, the great classification of POCJAR based on amount of student. And the benefit collaboration between UT and POCJAR, including first, assisting in delivery information from UT to student and also UT to society, especially in remote or rural areas, border state, and blank spot internet access. Second, assisting to provide learning facilities, tutor and delivery of learning materials. And the last, expanding the reach of higher education. And the last of the presentation is conclusion. First, the mechanism of control of POCJAR's compliance in maintaining the ethic of distance education was still not maximal. The quality of implementation of collaboration between UT and POCJAR was good enough. Second, the factor that will influence the quality of implementation of the collaboration included a learning process, annual controlling of UT to Pokja and maintaining partnership commitment. The benefit of collaboration between UT and Pokja will help information delivery from UT to society, and especially to expand access to higher education in remote or rural areas and border states that have blind spot to internet access. And the last of the conclusion is, in another word, collaboration between UT and Pokja would support sustainable development in higher education in Indonesia. There is the last of our presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much for all these three presenters, Siti Ayash, Medudeshi Sitani, and Zenua Hidaya. So now the time is for Q&A. So if you have any questions here, so you can raise the questions. So this is the best time to ask the questions. So I have a small observation. So in your research analysis, you mentioned you use the collaborative theory. If you can explain that further for our specific clarifications, please.
Thank you very much for your question. We use collaboration theory to analyze this study. We use a triple helix in collaboration theory. So we found three aspects or three helix in collaboration between UT and public sector. First, we have UPBJJ UT or regional UT in local government. And the second is Pokja or study group. It is a private sector that have a partnership with Universitas Terbuka to collaborate in learning process, provide a tutor, and access to remote area. So we and the last we have two helix located in UPBJJ UT and Pokja, Pokja or study group. So it's a three helix or three aspect influence to the successful of collaboration and learning process and sustainable development in higher education in Indonesia. Thank you, Chef.
Okay, thanks for that comment. Any other questions from the audience?
Mau nambahin nggak? Mau nambahin nggak?
Okay, again, I have one particular small question. So you mentioned the cultural background of the head is really important as to one of the finding. So if you can elaborate more on this, why you consider the cultural aspect of the head as really important as per your findings.
Yes, the culture in local government is very influenced successful for collaboration. We have many culture in Indonesia and many characteristics and maybe many language in Indonesia. So we need collaborate in local private sector in Indonesia to successful collaboration and learning process in higher education in Indonesia.
Right, because one of the statistics say that Indonesia can be considered as one of the happiest in Asia.
Yes.
Right? Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. So all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. So then we have our final third presentation. The topic is on digital badge as an e-certificate of
Professor Nalin, you are muted, Professor.
really sorry.
Okay.
So thank you very much for the second presenters. So we have three presenters in our second presentation. So I would like to invite our third presenters, including Tushino Yamada, Kiyoshi Fushimi, Satoshi Satoshi, Tohoru Tiguchi, and Nishuma Okada. So they are going to discuss on the very interesting thing on digital badge as an e-certificate of an informal education program, a case study at OpenAC. Yes, you can start.
Thank you very much for choosing our presentation. My name is Neo Yamada. I am a professor at the Open University of Japan. On behalf of the team, I will have a presentation titled with Digital Badge as an e-certificate of informal education program, a case study at Open University of Japan. First of all, I'd like to talk on what is digital badge. In educational context, digital badge means electronic certificate of academic and credential record, such as e-certificate of completion or e-transcript, and they are component of digital credential systems for academic degree, competency and skills, and qualification, and expected to be utilized in micro-credential or nano-degree. Digital badges are issued as a unique badge to every recipient by course or program providers, and they are a set of graphical image in PNG or SVG format in which metadata are embedded. In addition to each achievement, various records such as personal data of the recipient, the content of the course program, acquired knowledge and competencies are described and certified. And they are encrypted to avoid falsification and portable and shareable through the internet, that is emails, blogs, and social networking services. In order to realize digital badge ecosystem in sustainable and adaptive fashion, the technical interoperability is indispensable. In the e-learning and ICT enhanced education, IMS technical standards are comprehensive and some are the most advanced. I'd like to mention the international standard for digital badge or digital credential systems. Mozilla Foundation's Open Badges, which was released in 2012, improved drastically the portability and verifiability of digital badges, and many institutions and corporates had adopted. In 2017, IMS Global Learning Consortium succeeded the standardization activities and released a new version called with Open Badge version 2 in 2018. In addition, IMS Global developed the related technical standards such as Comprehensive Learner Record, CLR or e-transcript, and Competency and Academic Standard Exchange case or Curriculum Standard and Rubric. They are to prepare for the various needs in digital credential ecosystems. Open badge are verifiable portable digital badges, and they are image files, PNG or SVG format, with embedded metadata about skills and achievement. Metadata items are issuer, recipient, image, data issues, verification, criteria, evidence, alignment, endorsement. With the progress of blockchain technologies, blockchain-based verifiable credential systems are also proposed. BlockCert is one of the examples. BlockCert is an open standard for creating, issuing, viewing, and verifying the blockchain-based certificate. These digital records are registered on a blockchain, cryptographically signed, tamper-proof, and shareable. The initial prototype was developed by MIT Media Lab and Learning Machine, and now Highland Credentials succeeded. Using BlockCert, several institutions, such as MIT, issue digital diploma and other certificate of completion. OUJ has 8 years history of digital badges. In April 2014, as a founding member of JMOOC, OUJ opened 2 MOOCs as the first release from JMOOC. After OUJ closed OUJ MOOC as a platform provider, the courses were succeeded to Asia Learning Portal and other JMOOC platform providers. Asia Learning Portal was managed by AAOU and UPOU. In 2018, with the introduction of additional BSTV channel, OUJ started a new extension program focusing on the new target areas. To develop high flexibility course delivery and participant registration, a new learning platform, Aoba, with digital badge systems was introduced. The Aoba digital badges are technically based on IMS Open Badge version 2. The Aoba metadata information is shown in this table. The information on the issuer organization is described in profile part, and that on subject, courses, or programs is described in badge class part, and that on recipient is described in assertion part. This program was launched in April 2019, and the digital badges began to be issued from 2020. The number of the badges issued are shown in the table. In 2020, the first series of open online certification courses were developed for 2 courses. But this year, 8 new courses are released with digital badge. A recipient can confirm the information described in the badge using by Aoba student portal. However, the user who have no student ID, they cannot use this student portal. So we prepare the free validator site. At the initial launching of the OUJ Aoba system, 2 prototypes of digital badges were developed by different digital badge systems and compared the usability. The purpose of the survey is which features of the prototypes are evaluated by the badge recipient, that is, the first users of the issued badge. I cannot explain the details But when a recipient achieves each goal at the badge operation, assumed activities are different between two digital badge systems. On general evaluation, 2/3 of the recipient prefer prototype B, the block start based badges. But evaluation of each two receive and manage badges, there are no big differences. The questions on awareness also showed very interesting result, but I have no time to tell. Conclusion, they say BlockSat badge on the smart devices are so cool, but Open Badge version 2 badges are easy to use because familiar tools were used. So depending on recipient skills and familiarity with devices and tools, multiple badge delivery channels should be considered. Also, various use cases in digital badge credential systems should be proposed and shared among stakeholders. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Yamada and team for your presentation.
Yeah.
Any questions from the audience?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, yes. Good afternoon. So, Professor Yamada, now you have extensively discussed about digital badge in different research forums. So, with your experience, so what about the situation like in the pandemic scenario, the effectiveness of this sort of a digital badge as a needs certificate?
Yeah, frankly speaking, so we have just introduced digital badge systems in our official services. So I have no such evidences specifically, so relating with this pandemic. But we expect digital badge issuing is very powerful to use some powerful, for example, to reduce or the university staff's burdens to issue certificate. And also we have some increase the awareness of the certificate or values of certificate on the side of the recipient, so student awareness. So we expect some kind of the distribution or circulation of digital badge. For example, so the recipient use the badge when they send a curriculum vitae at recruiting or at college examination. So we expect such kind of circulation of digital badge, and such kind of the circulation will be so facilitate some digital transformation in digital credential area. But at the moment, I have no evidence at the moment.
Yeah, Professor Yamada, I think this is one of the best practice you have in Open University of Japan. So in Open University in Sri Lanka also, like we are catering for the informal education sector as well. But in coming years, we can have a good collaboration with your best practice.
Yeah, sure. So we are very pleased to share our knowledge and know-how on the digital badge with you and AAOU members. So please don't hesitate to ask us.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Any questions from the audience?
Good afternoon, sir.
Sure, please.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Jason, you can continue.
This is Dr. Jason Madayag from Dimso Open University in the Philippines.
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. Sir, may I ask the relevance of the e-certificate in the global arena now in terms of acquiring a job, most especially nowadays in times of pandemic. Some employers are looking for a concrete evidence of the certificate in terms of the application of what they have learned in the specific program. Does this e-certificate can be beneficial in finding a job, most especially in the global market?
Yeah, I think so. So one of the features of the digital badge, especially Open Badge version 2, is very powerful in the verification. And verification means it's very difficult to I cannot find the English term. So anyway, authenticity is keep of each batch. So maybe it can be used for such kind of international verification or qualification to guarantee the authenticity of the certificate. So maybe in such kind, the current online or virtual mode, maybe it will be very helpful to for such recipe the second users of the badge to verify the authenticity of Open Badge. It's okay?
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jason, for your very interesting question. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, Professor Yamada, I think you contributed a lot for this particular area of digital badge. So we have seen many publications aligned with that. All the best for you and your team, Professor Yamada.
Professor Nalin, there is one question. The Indrani.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, Indrani, please.
Am I audible?
No problem, Indrani. Yes.
I found the presentation extremely interesting. My compliments to Professor Yamada. There is a lot to understand, lot to learn, and I would say that badges have a very, very interesting edge. If we want to, especially in our country, India, where maybe students can be made more aware of climate issues and other important issues which are outlined in our policy for education policy, which has been, released now. So Professor Yamada, looking forward to contact you and be in touch with you for further knowledge from your lab. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So maybe you can find my contact address. So please contact with me.
Yes, I shall email you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Professor Yamada and team, thank you very much again for your participation and your contribution.
PSYAMADA.
So thank you very much for all presenters. So now we are going to conclude our session, and all the participants and presenters in our conference. There are many tracks, we have many other sessions. I would like you to actively participate for the tracks and the sessions. And more importantly, I should thank Dr. Saminder and our IT team for the help and everything. So stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nalin.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yes. Okay. Good day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Udah kan, Liv ya?
Yeah, yeah.